Hi folks! Thanks for joining us on this video. If you're new here, I'm Willie.
And I'm Sarah.
We're a musician and artist, and we recently sold our suburban home to move to a tiny, nearly 200-year-old cottage on the Isle of Skye in the Scottish Highlands with our dog, Jack Spaniels.
This week we finally complete our renovation project.
Converting our stone outbuilding into studio spaces has taken over 3 months and a lot of hard work, but we just made it to the finish line.
Keep watching to see how the finished studios look.
Join us as we continue. Living the Skye Life. So now that all the plasterboard is up and the skirting boards are cut for the bottom as well, I did that this morning but it wasn't that exciting so I didn't film it. The next thing to do in here is tidy up because it's a mess. It's all the power tools since we started, they're just everywhere. So I'll show you what it's like just now. Sarah's studio is relatively tidy, but when you walk through here, it's like a bomb site, well, a building site actually. So I've got to get all of this and put it into those fish boxes over there and possibly more to neaten the place up and put them in the shed out of the way so we can do the rest of the jobs in here. The filling of the gaps, the painting of the floor, and then putting on those skirting boards as well. So still a lot to do, but let's get rid of this mess first. Right, so that's the room cleared out. I also vacuumed it as well, so the floor is now nice and clean. So what I'm going to do now is fill the gaps and all the little screw holes from the countersunk screws, and that's going to be quite a big job, but I'll film it, why not? You might have noticed in the time lapse that the filler that I was using changed colour. That's because I ran out and I had to use a tube of wood filler which I had just lying about, which was really handy. So I'll show you what I've done now. Here's the whole floor done, and I'll sand that tomorrow and then paint it. We've got special floor paint for that, which is really hard and should be really hard wearing for a long time, I hope. It's 9:30 at night and we're out in the byre because we really want to get this finished now. We're so close, we just want to get on. So I'm going to be doing the sanding off the floor in here that I did this afternoon. It's now dry. Sarah's going to be doing some filling through there and we're going to film it, let you see. Ooh. Have you nicked Richard's?
Yeah, I'm Richard now.
That's the floor sanded, so I'll paint it now. First coat tonight. I'm doing it slightly differently from how Sarah's doing it. She's wanting to do a floor last. I want to do it first. I want to get the skirtings back on later. So I'm going to do the floor, put the skirtings on, and then paint the walls and the skirtings. And I'll just put down dust sheets on the floor so I don't get paint on the floor. That floor paint is really hard wearing. So I reckon, yeah, floor first. Probably the wrong way to do it. We'll find out. That's coat one. As you can see, it's quite patchy. It's going to take a couple of coats at least, maybe 3. I don't mind. Anyway, that's that for tonight. Time to go back in the house.
Well done for the evening.
Yeah, well done.
Escaping.
Not too big midges.
It was someone's bright idea to open the door for some air.
No, it was dust. But then the midges came in because they saw the lights. So that's why the time lapse of me painting the floor and Sarah doing other things through the filling. We're like, let's get out of here.
So if anyone was wondering, the midges are here in force.
Yeah.
Don't leave your door open.
No. Jack is crashed out on the lawn. We're trying not to wake him up. Sarah's trying to get some pictures before he does. But look how cute the little sausage is. He's tuckered himself out by playing with his stick.
Or he's just got bored of waiting for us to play with him.
Maybe. Guard dog, supreme. I know! Good boy, you scared the big monsters away. Clever doggy. Good boy. Did you have a nice snooze with your stick? Was that fun? Have a nice little lie down. Was it nice and relaxing? Where's your mum? Must get the stick. You're not really meant to bring the stick in the house though. You're meant to put it where he has done. Where's your mum? Jack. Where's mummy go?
What's this? Good boy. Oh, we found his toy. He's not supposed to bring the stick indoors. He's not supposed to take the toy outside.
Yeah, he's breaking all the rules. That's you, little rebel, eh? Rebel.
It is the morning after Midgegate, when Willie let all the midgies into the studio, and they seem to have disappeared, or hidden anyway, for the time being. So it's time to get on. I really want to get all of this filling done. I've just got the ceiling to do. Ooh, got to fill all these screw holes and stuff, and then I'll be ready to move on to the next stage, which is sanding and then painting. Willie and I are a little bit different in our approaches to how we do this work. So Willie just likes to find a job that he really wants to get done and do it. So he's already sanded and painted his floor, even though he hasn't filled all the holes in the walls yet. Whereas I like to get a job done before I move on to the next one, so I want to get all of the filling done, and then I want to do all of the sanding, and then I want to do all of the painting. We're just taking our own approaches to our own studios at the moment, but we'll get there. Time to tackle this ceiling, and hopefully I'll get it all done today. There we go. Apart from a few slightly large cracks that need an extra layer, that is my room all filled. It'll look a lot better once it's sanded and painted. Filling is all done, so now it's time to get sanding. Let's go! Well, I think I aged about 30 years doing that. I'm glad I didn't wash my hair today. I think I've got about half of Willie's room sanded. Now it's time to go make dinner. It's Saturday night, so we have a video to get uploaded for tomorrow. No rest for the wicked, right? Tomorrow's Sunday, and once we've got the video uploaded, we will crack on with working the byre because we just want to get it finished now. I think it's important that we remember that we're not trying to do this to a really professional standard. It's not a house. It's going to look a little bit rough around the edges, but it's going to do the job, and it's going to be our studio that we built. That's what counts. Time to go clean up a little bit and have some dinner and get that video uploaded.
I'm quite pleased with myself because I've found the paints for this croft house that we stay in every year. I know all the colours now that they've used on the walls. So now I know what colours to use in my half of the byre. I'm going to take pictures of all of these before we leave. I've been wandering around going, oh, I wonder what colour this is. The two inspirations for my half of the byre is the store that we were in earlier, which is now a cafe, which was the old store I used to buy my fishing permits in, and also this cottage. So yeah, I know what to do now. I've got, look at all these down here. Got all these different kinds of paints, and I'm going to take pictures of them all so I can steal the idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to take pictures, not the paint.
No, I'm not going to nick the paint. I'm just going to take pictures of the paint. So there we go. I'm in my half of the byre, and last night I painted these beams, and the plan is once I've painted the rest of the place I'm going to sand these as well to match the top over there. Also, I did all the sanding and I just cracked on with it. I stayed up really late doing this. And then this morning I've come in, it's Sunday, just done a little bit of final finishing. I think I've said a few times in these videos, I'm not going for perfection. I want this to look a little bit sort of rustic and sort of like a croft building. So you will see joins. It's not going to be like an IKEA showroom. It's not going to be beautiful and perfect. It's meant to look a little bit rustic. The plan now is to finish this room and then get in with Sarah and help her finish her room. And hopefully in a couple of days' time, this whole thing will be finished. But first of all, let's get painting.
Oh, he's getting there.
yeah, I'm just cutting out the beams. I've purposefully not sanded them yet, because if I do get paint on it, I can take that off with the sandpaper. This is all needing to be hoovered up there, and then that'll need to be cleaned as well.
I mean, it fits with your oldie worldy vibe.
I think that's a little bit too much. I mean, the idea was to make it look like it was old paint, to look like an old saloon, like an old pub, like the ones that I used to go to when I was wee with my dad. That's what I'm looking for. It's like a Victorian kind of Scottish vibes. Just cut it in along here and then paint the whole top and then back down the side again. It's going to take a while, and I decided to use a paintbrush rather than a roller because I want to see the brush strokes. That probably sounds mad to most people, but to me, I want it to look like it's old worldy. So I want to see the paintbrush strokes. The LED panel does kind of ruin the effect, but what can you do? I suppose I could sort of paint it, but I'm not going to.
Don't paint the LED panel, that cost a lot of money.
Paint it like this.
No! Don't even joke about it.
I'm daft, but I'm not that daft. Alright, so I'm a bit further ahead than Sarah now, so I've jumped out of my room and into her room so she can catch up, and then hopefully we'll finish at the same time. Let's see. Okay, that's the wall behind me done. Now I'm going to do the floor. I'm going to sand Sarah's floor. She's in the house editing just now. So I'm out here, I might as well crack on and we can get this finished. I'm really keen to finish it now, as is Sarah. So next up, sand the floor.
Okay, it is the final push now to get the byre done. Willie's room is nearly done, but mine, I've done 2 walls and 2 coats on the floor, but I still need to do all of this and all of this. So let's get going and see if we can finish today. That would be amazing. So close to doing the walls. We've just got the rest of the ceiling, that wall, and that bit.
I've now done almost 2 coats of the ceiling with a brush, like this, which is not very easy, I can assure you, especially when the brush is too small, but it's the last one you've got that isn't covered in like shed paint.
That'll teach you to clean your brushes. And then once we've done 2 coats of paint, we've got to put the skirting boards on and fill the holes, and they need sanding and painting, and then we need to do a final coat on the floor. It's 6 o'clock. Well, it's 4 minutes past 6 now. Are we going to get it all done tonight?
I hope so. Otherwise I might cry.
Come on, let's do it. Guess what?
What?
That's the painting done.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not.
It's the painting of the walls done.
Yeah, we've still got another coat of the floor to do.
My hands.
Skirting
They're
boards.
purple from using the roller. What did you say to me when I complained?
I said what Richard always says to me. Dry your eyes. Skirting time.
Let's not skirt around the issue.
Getting rid of all this messy paint first, I think.
Yes.
You need to pick it up. Ready? Jump! Hey! Hey!
Upside down!
Woo! We did it! I'm very proud of you. Oh, don't let him on the floor. We did it! You can't on the floor.
Done.
Let's do this. Signing off on the biggest project we've had so far.
Sayonara. Oh, that's it.
We finished the barn! Legend.
Oh my gosh.
We got there. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
And to
Chin
you.
chin.
Chin chin. Cheers for watching it as
Cheers
well.
to everyone.
Cheers. We finished it last night. We got the last coat of paint on Sarah's floor. Obviously it was late and we were tired, so we wanted to get to bed and let the floor dry as well. So we'll do a little tour now and show you the whole place, how it is.
We're gonna
We've
have
got some
some
cake as well.
Champagne and cake. Cake from the Coffee Bothy in Broadford, where I have prints for sale, so they make excellent cakes.
They do. I know this is going to be really lovely. Coffee Bothy. You've done it again.
Cake and champagne to celebrate. Wow.
Absolutely.
A momentous occasion.
Momentous. Can't believe we're sitting here talking about it as it's done. At times it felt like it was going to take forever, honestly. But now it's done and it's just such a good feeling.
I don't think we quite realised the scale of how much work it would take to sort of do a lot of it ourselves. We did have a lot of really, really amazing help from Richard and Ian, not forgetting De Niro and Jack Spaniels. But after Ian left, it's been what, 6 weeks? Six and a half weeks of just the two of us cracking on with it. And I've got to be honest, mainly Willie cracking on with it. Like, I am so impressed with how much you've done and learnt and just put your heart and soul into this building. Like, you've worked so hard.
Thank you. You have too. We've both worked really hard. We haven't been posting lots of shorts or anything like that. We've just been really concentrated on finishing this project. And it's such a joy to have it done.
We know it's not perfect, but it's perfect for us. Like, we made this. We both put blood, sweat and tears into this place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a little rough around the edges. There's a few lines that don't quite match up and yeah, no straight lines in this place, but it's ours and we made it. So that's much better than bringing someone else in to make it for you.
As Sarah said, there are no straight lines in here. The whole thing is all wonky. The whole building itself is all wonky. It's not a rectangle. It's like slightly crooked, and everything that we did in here, we had to work with not only the walls but also the roof that was put on. Richard did it, but he put it on for a barn. He wasn't thinking back then, you know, someone's going to convert this into a studio or workspace. The roofing joists, although they're structurally completely sound, he had to work to the shape of the walls as well. In some places the ceiling's like this, the front of the byre is all wonky as well. And that's just the way it was, that's what you had to work with.
It's called character.
Lots of character, lots of character.
Hey Jack, do you want a treat as well? Come. What's this? What's this? You've been a good boy, haven't you? Been so patient. Can I have a paw?
Clever
Other
boy.
paw.
Clever.
High five. Good boy. That was a peanut butter paw, and that was paid for by our patrons over on Patreon. And we do just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting this channel over the last few months, especially our patrons who contribute every month, and everyone who donates on Ko-fi, everyone who watches the videos, is subscribed, likes, comments, all that stuff. It really helps us out, and honestly, this would not have been possible without all of you guys. So thank you so much. Thank
you so much. You really, really have helped the channel, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we did pay for the champagne ourselves, though.
We did pay for the champagne ourselves. That's one extravagance, and it's Asda's own. It's not the expensive stuff.
Asda's finest and cheapest.
So from us to you, live in the Skye Life, and all future adventures that will happen from this day forward, we'd just like to say a massive thank you and cheers to all of our viewers, subscribers, patrons and Ko-fi supporters. Cheers to you all, thank you.
Cheers! Right, we're going to finish our cake and then we'll give you a little tour of the inside.
Let's check it out.
While we've been in there creating, Jack has been out here destroying. This is the sum total of sticks and blocks of wood that Jack has destroyed over the course of the shed build and the byre build. I guess it makes good kindling, right? Welcome to the crib. Let's see inside.
Ooh.
Well, this is Casa del Serra. This is my studio. It's nice and bright and white, which is what I wanted. I know we had a few people saying we should have got Veluxes or sun tubes or things like that, but it just wasn't really within our budget or skill set to actually put those in. So we went with this beautiful full glass door, which is amazing. Like now I get a view of all rubbish on the lawn, but of the beautiful loch and forest. And I feel like I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time just standing here. That's bringing in so much light. We've got a daylight LED panel up there, which is also dimmable. Oh.
Wow, it's super bright, isn't it?
Honestly, this room is amazing. It's full of clean daylight, and that's just what I wanted. And it's kind of diffused around the room, so I don't have to have spotlights, and I don't have Veluxes where the sun can shine through at different times of the day. I think it's just really nice for painting, so hopefully that will work out.
Up here you can see some of the angles that we've had to work
The
with.
shonkiness.
Yeah, look at all these crazy angles. Now, I've never worked with plasterboard before, so that was really, really tricky to get, and I made a lot of mistakes.
You've never worked with plasterboard before, and you probably
No.
won't again.
No, I probably won't again. I really didn't enjoy it. This door here is the one that we restored, and it's the original door from the byre.
Yeah, I really love it. So it's basically almost in exactly the same place that it was. We think it might have actually come out of the cottage originally, because there's one in the cottage, a cupboard door, which looks exactly the same. So it might have come from there. We put the big black hinges on, which are new. We painted over the MDF. And I really, really like having that door as is.
It's massive as well, isn't it? It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be when we started. Because
so much space.
we decided to build it so it's a room inside a room, or two rooms inside one big room, and that means that nothing touches the walls, so nothing can seep through any of the woodwork or anything like that. It's only attached to the beams of the roof, and then the tin on the top obviously has a membrane to stop that from getting wet. The walls have a membrane behind them as well, directly behind the plasterboard, and then there's waterproof insulation boards that are there as well, and then there's a gap of about 6 inches all the way around this whole building, so nothing is touching those old walls.
And the wood, the timber's all treated for moisture. We've done everything we can to stop it being damp, because our main concerns really were just we want it to be comfortable, dry, warm in the winter, hopefully cool in the summer. And I think that's what we've got. Layout wise, I think I'm going to put my painting desk here, and then I'll figure everything else out. I've got 2 printers. I've got loads of stock and packaging and things to put in here. So all my Etsy sales all get processed here as well. So this is where She Wash Your Paints, I guess, HQ is going to be. This is the corner we didn't show.
Yeah.
This is our fuse box. So that's really important that we have access to that. So if there's any issues, we can turn the electricity off. Willie built this lovely little frame around it, but we have a plan that we're going to maybe put a picture on there in a frame and have it sort of lift up. Kind of like when they have a safe behind a picture. I thought that was quite cool. And we have a box of wires.
Well, yeah, this is our internet out here. And it actually works. Ian hooked it up already, so we've got Starlink out here as well. Really fast internet.
Internet wasn't something I even thought about when we started this. I just sort of assumed we wouldn't really get it because it's in the house and there's really thick stone walls in between. But yeah, Ian was like, yeah, you can get a cable for Starlink, easy. And we've got full internet in here as well, which is absolutely incredible. So kudos to Ian for getting that sorted for us.
Also, we've got 4 power sockets, double power sockets in both rooms. In all the corners we have power, and also USB connectors as well for our phones.
And the final little touch of my studio, we have this little plaque, which will not show close up because it has people's surnames on it, but it basically says, this byre was converted by Willie, Sarah, Richard and Ian with canine supervision from Jack Spaniels and De Niro. Living the Skye Life, spring 2023.
That's cute.
Time to switch a room.
Alright, let's go in here. This is my studio. So here we are. I went for a different vibe, and I couldn't resist putting these on already. This is a sign that I found, I dug up from a bottle dump, and it is a sign for bombs that were used by the Dad's Army in the UK. They were basically like petrol bombs that mixed when the bottle broke and caused an explosion, like rustic type grenades, and they came in a box with this sign on it. This is another sign that I dug out of a bottle dump, which is much more rusty in bad repair, but I think it just adds to the character. I think it looks really beautiful. I've had to screw it in so many places to stop it from falling off. But yeah, that's cool. Cadbury's and bombs from the Dad's Army, 1940s, probably 1910s, 20s, about there. And let's show you the room, shall we? So, here we are. Shabby Road Studios, Mark, I don't know how many. It's quite dark in here if you don't have this on. And this is dimmable. And that's probably how I'll have it most of the time. But for this, I'll show you all the way up. The paint that I went for is a sort of off-white, and it's the colour of the cottage in Betty Hill that we stay in on holiday. This is the exact paint that they used in the living room, so I was so thrilled that I was able to find that. This is all the 2x4s that were left over from the shed build, and also this build. I ended up making this thing, which I absolutely love. This is just a display for all my antique balls that I've dug out the ground all over Scotland. And I've got this lovely little window here as well. So you can't really see too well from here, but there is a really nice view up to the hill from there. There you go.
If you angle it right, you don't get the oil tank.
Yeah. Well, that's necessary, isn't it?
You get to see all the sheepies and the koozies. And you also get a view of the road, so whoever's coming along, when the postie comes,
I can see what's going on. This was just offcuts from the shed. This stuff here was a 2x4, so this is really solid. But these are just sarking from the side of the shed. I think it looks so cool. I painted it, as you probably saw before, with wood stain, and then I just sanded it all back a bit to make it look old. And that dust that's in there, that's from when I made the building. I'm just leaving that in there because I think it looks really cool.
Real dust.
Yeah, and then this, I just sort of designed a chamfered corner for it. And then this I found actually in the attic of the byre, or the beams. And I think it was from the previous owner. And it's actually 4 plasterboard, which was really cool. The plasterboard slots into it, so I used that all the way around it as well, so it's nice and neat. And I purposefully left the screws and the nails showing, because that's what it's like in the store cafe in Betty Hill, and that was my inspiration. This is the original beam. This is the beams that were put in. Richard put these in. They've been wood stained as well, and then sanded back also to match this.
Bane of our lives when it came to plasterboarding.
Oh yeah, it made plasterboarding so much more difficult, so we had to work around them, which was a bit of a nightmare. But the effect that I've got from them now, I'm really chuffed with.
Yeah, it's cool.
I only did 1 coat of paint in here. I wanted it to be a little bit washed out in places. I wanted to see the brush strokes. That's my preference. I know that's not for everyone. I wanted this to look like old worldy. I know there's a great big LED panel in the middle, but it's 2023. But I am going to have lots more old artifacts in here. My drum kit's going to go here. My desk is going to go by Sarah there, just behind you guys there. And then I'm going to put a seat that's currently in the bedroom, a tartan seat that we got with the cottage. I'm going to put that in this corner here. And yeah, I'm going to get on and do that. So you'll see both of us doing our rooms. We'll get on with that now, but you'll probably see that in the next video. I'm so excited to get my stuff in here and make it my own.
Anyways folks, thank you so much for watching our video. We really hope you enjoyed it, seeing the reveal of the finished byre that we're standing in right now. If you did enjoy it, please do leave us a like, a comment and subscribe to our channel if you don't already. It's free to do, it helps us out, so it's really cool.
If you want to support the channel further, you can do that over on Ko-fi. You can buy us a coffee, or you can buy Jack a treat, or you can just help out with the channel costs so we don't have to pay for it all ourselves.
If you feel like helping us out more long term and becoming one of our amazing patrons over on Patreon, you can do so as well. That helps us out every month and we get loads of bonus content for doing that. The links to all of our pages are in the video description below.
Yep. We're so excited to move all of our stuff into the byre and make it our own. If you have any questions about the build, leave them in the comments below.
We might not be able to respond to all the comments individually, but we probably will do a sort of Q&A in the next few weeks about the byre build, so we'll definitely take them into consideration for that.
Once again, thank you so much for watching our video, and we will see you next week.
Woo!
We're leaving our suburban life, moving over the sea to Skye. Are we chasing a dream? I guess in time we will see, when we're living the Skye life. Living the Skye life. We do this every week, and every single week we're like,
what do we do? Well, ooh, it's echoey.
Behind Sarah there.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Bless you.
Okay.
You can buy us a coffee, or you can buy
Buy us a coffee? Well, this is a strong look.
Got another new channel on the boil here. I think I'm calling it He Walks, He Paints. We won't tell anyone out there that it's 11:30 in the morning.
That's a day to celebrate.
And just go back to when you just...
Oops.
Bloopers. Anyway, so shall we say cheers to everybody?
I've got a mouthful of cake now.
Oh, of course you have. Oh, it's not recording. I'm not joking. It's not recording.
It is recording.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. And we will see you.
Don't do this to me! Every time!
Sorry. Bunch of f***ing amateurs.
Looks terrible.
We finished byre. Click here to subscribe to live in the Skye Life.
Click here to go back to the start of our adventures with our very first episode.